Last week we were introduced to mindfulness of breathing. That is keeping that experience of the breath in mind to cultivate some mindfulness and also some concentration. This week we're going to take this practice further by being aware of the length of the breath. Let's just recap on our meditation practice so far. Over the previous weeks, we discussed how to build our meditation practice. The first foundation for that building is mindfulness of body. In particular, the mindfulness of just sitting here. So we just start out taking our meditation posture, adjusting it, allowing our eyelids to close gently over. And then you just gently be aware of what it feels like just to sit here. Just sitting here in the room. What does this feel like? Just a feeling of air on the skin, the touch of your clothes, the sounds around you. Keeping your awareness wide during this stage, and this will allow any excess energy in your mind to settle down a bit. When you find your mind has started to settle down, you start to bring awareness into your body. And this next stage of awareness for your body, you pay attention to the different sensations, your experience of sitting here. This may be the experience of warmth or coolness. They're good anchor points for your awareness. Maybe the touch of your hands, the pressure of your body, the touch of your feet. If you're on a chair, on a chair, you may feel the pressure of your back. Yeah, just like that. Wonderful. Yeah. And then what you do is you just keep those sensations in mind. And feeling those sensations of your body, gently take a few softening breaths. Because we learned softening in the previous weeks, didn't we? Yeah. Take some few softening breaths, just breathing in. And breathing out, just relaxing into your body. And just keep it relaxing into this experience of your body until your body becomes self-aware, or you become aware from your body, until you start to observe from your body. We want to bring awareness away from the intellectual mind, and our body is the perfect grounding point for this. So what this does is this starts to set up the two levels of mindfulness, or two first levels of mindfulness. In the previous week, I discussed the 3 levels of mindfulness. The first level that we cultivate is the ability to know, to be aware of, this is what I'm doing now. So I'm just sitting in the room, I'm meditating, remembering that. That's that first level. So when we just bring the general awareness to our body, just sitting here, this is what we're doing. We're putting our effort towards remembering this is what I'm doing now. When we bring awareness into our body, start to tune into the different sensations in our body, we start practicing the second level of mindfulness. This is what I am experiencing now. So we go from what we're doing to focusing in on the experience of that, the experience of that doing, and that experience is that sensate quality. The third level of mindfulness is practice at a deeper level of practice, and that is knowing this is how I'm relating towards what I am experiencing now, our relationship. But during this mindfulness of breathing and mindfulness of body, we're concerned with the first 2 levels of mindfulness. Once you've settled in your body, you're relaxed, you're calm, very present. The experience of breathing will appear to you. You'll feel the flow of breath within your body. When you're doing this, just observe the breathing as if from a distance. That means maintain the awareness of your whole body just sitting and just notice the breath as a flow of movement within your body, not placing it anywhere at this stage. As you do this, you'll start to notice that one aspect of the breathing is most clear to you. It may be at the tip of your nose. It may be in your chest, your upper back. It may be in your belly. It may be just as the flow of breath within your body. It doesn't matter. So we don't choose a place to observe the breathing, but instead tune into where the breathing is most clear to us now. And this may be different for when you sit down to meditate in the morning or you sit down to meditate in the evening. Once you notice this spot that the experience of the breath is most clear to you, then what you do is you pick that one place and you're just aware of that one spot, not following the breath up and down like a bouncing ball, but instead allowing the breath to flow past that spot, just being aware of the breath as it moves past there. As we do this, we'll start to notice two aspects, and this is what we talked about last week. We can know when the breath is coming in, and we can know when the breath is going out again. We don't have to think about this. If we observe, we just know. I've played with this. I always seem to know when the breath is coming in, and I know when it's going out without thinking. So what you do during this stage is your task is to practice that first level of mindfulness, knowing what the breath is doing. And what is it doing? You know when the breath is coming in, and you know when it's going out. Now, there's some aspect about the breathing that tells you what the breath is doing. You focus on that knowing what the breath is doing rather than the breath itself. The final training for last week was so that we could use a simple label if we have trouble staying with that knowing what the breath is doing. And a simple label is a silent word we say to point our attention towards what's happening, to clarify it. Such as in when the breath is coming in and out when the breath is going out. This is our initial mindfulness of breathing practice, just knowing what the breath is doing. In this week's training, we move into the second level of mindfulness. We want to develop our awareness of the experience of the breath, not just what it's doing, but how do we experience it? How do we experience that in-breath? How do we experience that out-breath? And this experience is the same as in mindfulness of body. We move from the general awareness of just sitting here to the sensations in our body. Now we move from the general awareness of what the breathing is doing to the different sensations within the breathing itself. Does this make sense so far? It does? Wonderful. Okay, good. We'll keep on going then. Fantastic. Now, when we move into this next training, this second mindfulness breathing training, so MIDL mindfulness training number 8 of 52, what we do, or it's helpful to start to observe the in-breath and the out-breath as one breath. And what we do is we join these breaths together. To do this, don't be aware of the beginning or the end of the in-breath, and don't be aware of the beginning or the end of the out-breath. If you do this, you'll start to perceive impermanence. And since concentration is not yet strong enough, your mind will be disturbed by that perception of impermanence. And you may find you'll become agitated, may find that you become restless and start controlling the breath. Instead, focus on the middle of the in-breath and the middle of the out-breath until they feel like they're one continuous breath. You can just try it now. Just watching that breath from a distance. Observing the middle of the breath. And perceiving the breath, the in-breath, the out-breath as one continuous breath. Wonderful. Once you can perceive the in-breath and the out-breath as one continuous breath, then gently start to tune in to the different sensations within the breathing. Again, don't look in closely. This doesn't take a lot of effort. It's just like opening a door and looking in the room and just seeing what's there. Now you may feel sensations at the tip of your nose. Yeah, these might be pressure, warmth, coolness. You may feel movement in your head. You may feel expanding and deflating or contracting in your chest, your shoulders, your upper back, or maybe the rising and falling of your belly in your abdomen with the breathing. Maybe you just feel it as a flow of sensations within your body. It doesn't matter what your experience of the breathing is. Just start to tune into the different sensations in your breathing, just the same way as you did when you tuned into the different sensations within your body. You don't need to use any words to describe this. Just notice what's there. Like you're looking at a painting and then you start to look at the detail in the painting. Similar sort of thing. Wonderful. As you do this, you'll start to find some concentration will develop and the restlessness in your mind will start to settle down. If you find you're being restless with this, then widen your awareness wide. Give your mind room to race and run around until that energy settles down. And you can use a few softening breaths, like we practiced earlier, just to calm your mind. Calming, relax. That's it. Beautiful. To bring this practice deeper, you then need to tune into not just the breath coming in and breath going out, but also start to be aware of the length of the breath, regardless of what that length is. And what this means is taking your one point, just be aware of the breath as it goes through or past that point, like this. So in the beginning, you knew one in-breath, one out-breath. That's one noticing for the in-breath, one noticing for the out-breath. Now you want continuous noticings along the length of the breath. So as the breath passes that point, knowing here, 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 and then back out here, 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 here. So you know multiple parts of that breath, not just that one point of the breath. Know it as it passes that point. And so you start to become aware of the breath from the beginning to the middle to the end. That's aware of that one breath. Yeah. Start to notice, tune into the flowing change, the changing sensations within that breath. Allow them to anchor your attention, to hold your awareness. Yeah. Again, just tune into any effort, any over effort you notice. Use your softening skill, soften, relax, gently breathe out, relax and wait for the breath to come in again. It's that simple. So now we have the 2 stages of mindfulness we're practicing in mindfulness of breathing. Mindfulness of the breath. Is this breath coming in? Is it going out? Knowing what it's doing. And then joining the breaths together, we become aware of the whole length of the breath. Becoming aware of the breath from the beginning to the middle to the end, rubbing awareness along that length, becoming very intimate, very sensitive to too much effort, and softening, relaxing that effort. Being drawn ever inwards, becoming more intimate with our breathing. And this is a little game you can play, a game of balancing effort, balancing focus. Wonderful. This will bring you to a stage where your senses will start to shut down. The mind sense will start to shut down. Sounds will become far away. The experience of your body will start to fade. When you notice this calming has occurred, it's then time to move in from concentration meditation practice to mindfulness meditation practice, Satipatthana Vipassana. And to do this, we will change our perception of how we experience breathing itself. But we're going to start doing that or learning how to change that perception next week. Wonderful. Okay, thank you everyone for spending time with me. I really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves and have a wonderful week, and goodbye. Thank you. Thank you.